Hey guys, welcome back. It's Thijs. Welcome to Gourmet Grind again. In the second series of the cocktail evening, we're going to go and move on to a couple of fresher cocktails. As you remember, the first one we did a couple of creamy, after dinner kind of cocktails. What we're going to do now is have a couple of fresh ones that you can have during the day, during the evening, in the morning, if that's your kind of thing, you know, I'm not judging. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the apple cinnamon martini, then we're going to move on to a hot whiskey, which is a very simple classic, but I think we can all use one during, you know, the times that we're in. And we're going to finish off with an absolute banger, which is called the Resolution. And that's all we're going to say about that one for now. Right, so let's get started. So the first one, the apple cinnamon martini. Unlike many martinis, this one actually has martini in it. And it's a fairly simple drink to make. So all you need is, you need a bit of cinnamon powder, just for the end of it. You need 1 lime. We're going to need Martini Bianco. And we're going to need some fresh pressed apple juice. And some ice, of course. So, back to our cocktail shaker. What we're going to do is just going to throw a bit of ice in there, as we do have that. We're going to measure it, and we're going to start with the Martini Bianco. So we're just going to use the, apologies there, the big side of the measure, Martini Bianco, 50 milliliters. Just pour that in there. So that's our starting point, right there. Then we have our fresh pressed apple juice. As it's fresh pressed, I'm just going to give that a bit of a shake. Got this, 50 milliliters again. Now, because it's just 2 liquids in here, I want to do double the size, right? So we're going to do 2 measures of 50 milliliters just to get the proportions there, right? On top of that, we're going to cut our lime. If you like it a little bit more limey, you can use the whole lime. I'm going to use just half of the lime just because I don't want to make it too limey, all in a sense, because we've already got the apple juice. The Martini Bianco is a little bit sweeter, but we don't want to do too much. So for me, it's just going to be half the lime. Throw that in there. Just going to give that a shake. There we go. Again, as we did before, when the shaker goes ice cold, that's what we want to do, right? So we're done there now. As we're dealing with a martini, if you have a martini glass, that's the perfect one to use for this one. There's no reason to serve this over ice. The martini glasses generally are quite tiny in volume. You've enough liquid in here with the ice diluting it slightly regardless. So what we're going to do is just pour it in there to get that nice light green color. Perfect measure. Finish that up. Now, as we said before, it is the apple cinnamon martini. So, as we used before, just for the winter vibes of it, I'm going to pour a little bit of cinnamon on top of that. Just right there. And then to top it up completely, 1 cinnamon stick. So we're just going to have floating on top of there. And that's it. Very simple, great taste. There's your apple cinnamon martini. Alright guys, moving on to the second one of our second series. We're going to go with the classic, one that is very, very welcome, I think, just in the pandemic months, the winter months, you know. It's going to be hot whiskey. One of them that is very, very simple to make. It's good for your throat. It's a nice drink. And I'm going to show you how to make it. Now, the first thing you want to do is boil water. I've just done this, so we're not going to go through that step. But then what we're gonna do is slice up a lemon. So what we're gonna use is a bit of brown sugar. We're gonna use our lemon, and we're gonna have there some cloves as well. What I like to do with the cloves is, so we're just gonna slice up a piece of the lemon here. Now, you can either throw the cloves just in there and kind of have them floating about, but what I like to do is, with your lemon, just kind of pierce the cloves through and put a couple of them in there. Do it to your taste, right? If you like cloves, then put a few more in there. Usually I put around 3 or 4 in there because the taste is quite strong enough, right? So you've got your lemon, you've got your cloves. Just keep that here for a second. Now the first thing we're gonna do, 2 spoons of brown sugar. Just pour that in the bottom of it. Again, do this to your liking. If you want it a little bit more sweeter, you can put a bit more, but usually what I go with is 2 just kind of teaspoons of that. Now the next thing, obviously hot whiskey, the main ingredient, is our whiskey. So we're just gonna use the measurer again. We're gonna use 50 milliliters, just there. That, again, this is a very easy drink to your liking. If you want it a little bit more strong, put a little bit more whiskey in there. You can top it up with the hot water as well. You can kind of even it out. We're just gonna go with a moderate measure just right here. We're just gonna drop the lemon in there. Just kind of let that soak in with the whiskey. Give it a bit of a shake there. Now, as I said, there's not many steps to this drink. It's very simple. Last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the hot water. And just slowly pour that in. Don't go too quick, just kind of let it settle in there. You see the lemon kind of twisting around, you see the cloves mingling in there very well. That's what you got. Now, usually when you pour the water over it, it's kind of gonna mix with itself, but usually I do like to give it a little stir, just to kind of get the lemon in there as well, just kind of give it a bit of a stir so that you have the cloves go around, the lemon go around, and that's you right there. Perfect for your throat. It'll make you feel a lot better just in the middle of winter. It'll warm you up. It's a lovely drink to have. There you go, your hot whiskey. Right there. Alright guys, there we are for our last cocktail of the series so far. I'm very excited about this one. This is a fun one. Right, so I've called this one the resolution. I know we're pretty far into the new year, but it's not gone too well so far, right? So we might as well have a few resolutions left. What we're going to be using for this one, we have our cocktail shaker as we always do. We need half a lemon, a bit of rosemary, which we'll use later for the garnish. We have our bottle of Prosecco. We have our gin. We'll get to that in a second. And then we have our simple syrup. Now, the simple syrup is very easy to make, guys. If you can boil water, you can make simple syrup, right? So it's equal parts water, equal parts sugar. So what I like to do is just kind of get a coffee cup size of water and then fill the same cup with just sugar. Put it together, keep it stirring, like put it on a hot stove, keep it stirring until it kind of dissolves together. Let it cool off, put it in the fridge. This is a great thing to add to all of your cocktails, right? So that's this here, we're gonna add that in a little bit. What we're gonna start with, as usually, we're gonna add our ice to our shaker. We'll get to the big bottle in a second. What we're gonna start with is the Hendrix, just the gin here. Now, we're gonna use the measure, 50 milliliters, big portion. Just pour that in. There we go. That's that. Then we have half our lemon. Now, roughly you want to put in about 10 milliliters. It's fairly difficult to measure, right? So if you squeeze this one out, you'll get there. If you don't have any fresh lemons, you can use just a little bottle of lemon juice, but I kind of like to use the fresh ones just because it gives that little bit of more taste to it, right? We got that. Then we have our simple syrup. Now I've made quite a lot of this, but we're only going to use a little bit of this, right? So we take the small side of the measure and we just pour that in. Just fill it up, roughly 3/4 of it, fill that in. And then those three together, we're just going to give that a shake. There we go. Now this is going to be a very fresh cocktail, but as you see, there's going to be Prosecco in this, right? So we have to use the right glass, a Prosecco glass. So what we're going to do, use this. Now my shaker here has the little holes in it, so none of the ice is actually going to come out. So we're just going to pour that in. We don't have to put it on ice. I'm going to pour that in slowly. And then we come to the main event there. I'm just going to open this. Now we've kept you waiting for this one just because this is the fun part of the whole drink, right? There we go. We got it for a second. Just gonna top that off right there. Just to the top of it. And then just add a little bit of flavor to it. And add that rosemary at the top. Now, as you'll probably find out over the next few kind of videos that you might watch, I like my garnish, so I gotta go a little bit crazy with this, so I like to put a little bit of extra right there. And that's us right there. The resolution, it's never too late. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching the two series. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've walked through a fair few cocktails, not too hard to make, but if you are doubting or not remembering correctly, as I said before in the previous video, these recipes are all going to be up in the blog, so have a look on there, gourmetgrindfood.com. That's where you can find this. The link is going to be in the description below as well. And yeah, just have a look. I hope you enjoyed this. Impress your friends, impress your loved ones, impress yourself. Enjoy it, you know, treat yourself like you should be treated. Thank you very much, and see you next time.